It is 3 a.m. Your baby has been crying for 47 minutes straight. You have fed them, you have changed them, you have rocked them, shushed them, bounced them, driven around the block twice. Nothing works. And in that moment, exhausted, desperate, completely alone in the dark, you wonder if you're doing something fundamentally wrong. You are not doing anything wrong, but there is something you do not know yet. Because right now, in Seoul, South Korea, a first-time mother is holding her newborn baby. The baby begins to fuss, and within 4 minutes, not 40, the baby is calm. Not because this mother got lucky, not because her baby is easier, but because she was taught something before her baby was even born. A routine so specific, so intentional, and so deeply rooted in Korean culture that Western pediatricians are only now beginning to study it. By the end of this video, you will understand exactly what that routine is. You will have every single step laid out clearly so you can begin using it tonight, not next week. Tonight. Stay with me. Because what comes next will change the way you understand your baby forever. Before we talk about what Korean mothers do, we need to talk honestly about what most Western mothers are taught to do. Because the contrast is where everything becomes clear. In Western parenting culture, baby crying is treated primarily as a problem to be solved as quickly as possible. We are taught a checklist. Is the baby hungry? Feed them. Is the baby wet? Change them. Is the baby tired? Put them down. And if none of those things work, we are essentially on our own. We rock, we bounce, we shush, we pace. We try white noise machines and swaddles and pacifiers and 17 different positions. And sometimes it works, and sometimes it does not. But here is what nobody tells you. That approach, checklist, fix, repeat, is built on a fundamental misunderstanding of what a crying baby actually needs. Western culture teaches us that crying is a signal of a physical need. Hunger, discomfort, pain. And yes, sometimes it is. But Korean mothers are taught something completely different from the very beginning. They are taught that crying is primarily an emotional and neurological signal. That a baby does not just cry because something is wrong with their body. A baby cries because something is overwhelming their nervous system. And the moment you understand that distinction, everything changes. Because you stop trying to fix the crying, and you start learning how to respond to it. In Korean culture, there is a concept that shapes everything about how mothers interact with their newborns from the very first day. It is called samshin. Samshin is the ancient Korean belief that a newborn baby arrives in this world carrying the energy of 3 spiritual forces: body, spirit, and connection. And the role of the mother in those first weeks and months is not simply to feed and clean the baby. It is to help the baby feel the safety of all 3. Now, before you think this sounds too spiritual or too cultural to apply to your life, here is what modern neuroscience tells us about the same idea. Researchers at the University of British Columbia studied newborn brain development and found that in the first 3 months of life, a baby's nervous system is completely external. What that means is this: your baby cannot regulate their own emotional or physical state independently. Their brain is not developed enough. Instead, their nervous system literally borrows regulation from the caregiver around them. When you are calm, your baby's nervous system reads your calm and uses it. When you are panicked, your baby's nervous system reads your panic and amplifies it. When you are present, your baby's nervous system feels held even before you touch them. Korean mothers have understood this intuitively for generations, and they built an entire daily routine around it. A routine that is not about doing more things faster. It is about doing specific things in a specific order that speaks directly to your baby's nervous system. They call it the Aegibaby Routine, and it has 5 steps. Before I walk you through each step, I want you to notice something. This routine is not about what you do to your baby. It is about what you bring to your baby. The energy, the intention, the sequence, that is what makes it work. Step 1, jong on, the settling signal. 30 seconds before you even pick them up. When your baby begins to cry, most Western parents immediately pick them up. And the instinct comes from love. We want to fix the discomfort as fast as possible, but Korean mothers do something different first. Before picking up the baby, they pause for 10 seconds. They take one slow, deep breath, visibly, deliberately. They lower their shoulders. They soften their face, and then, before any physical contact, they speak to the baby in a very specific way. Not in a panicked, hushing voice. In a low, slow, rhythmic voice, something like this: I am here, I can hear you. You are safe. This is called jong-on, which loosely translates to settling signal. Here is the neuroscience behind why this works. Newborn babies cannot see clearly, but their hearing is fully developed from birth. The tone, rhythm, and pace of your voice directly activates or deactivates their amygdala, the fear center of the brain. A fast, panicked voice activates the fear center, making crying escalate. A slow, low, rhythmic voice deactivates it, giving the baby's nervous system its first signal that safety is coming. The 10-second pause before pickup is not wasted time. It is the most important 10 seconds of the entire routine. Step 2. Norigam, the skin hold. The way you pick them up matters more than you think. Step 2 is about the physical pickup itself. And Korean mothers are very specific about this. The baby is picked up in what is called norigam, a chest-to-chest hold, where the baby's ear is pressed directly against the left side of the mother's chest. Not the right side, the left side, where the heartbeat is strongest and most audible. For 9 months, your baby lived inside you. The most constant sound in their entire existence was your heartbeat. It was the soundtrack of their entire prenatal life, the rhythm they knew before they knew anything else. When you place their ear directly against that heartbeat, you are not just holding them. You are returning them to the most familiar sound they have ever known. Korean mothers hold this position for a minimum of 60 seconds before attempting any other soothing. 60 seconds of stillness, chest to chest, heartbeat to ear, no bouncing yet, no shushing yet, just the heartbeat. Studies from the journal Pediatrics confirm that skin-to-skin contact combined with maternal heartbeat sound reduces infant cortisol, the stress hormone, by up to 60% within 90 seconds. Korean mothers did not read that study. They just knew. Step 3, cheon, the slow rhythm, the bounce that actually works. Once the baby has had 60 seconds of heartbeat contact, Korean mothers introduce movement. But the movement is very specific, and most Western parents get this wrong. When a baby is distressed, we tend to bounce faster. The logic makes sense, more stimulation, faster soothing. But Korean mothers do the opposite. They slow down. The movement in cheon, which means slow and gentle, is a rhythmic sway that matches the pace of a slow walking heartbeat. Approximately 60 to 70 beats per minute, the same pace your body walked when the baby was inside you. Here is why this matters. When a baby's nervous system is overwhelmed, it enters what neuroscientists call a hyperarousal state. Fast bouncing adds more stimulation to an already overstimulated nervous system. It can temporarily distract the baby from crying, but it does not actually resolve the underlying neurological overwhelm. It is the equivalent of turning the music up louder to drown out a fire alarm instead of actually addressing the fire. The slow 60 beats per minute sway works differently. It matches the baby's nervous system where it is, and then gently leads it downward toward calm. It is not fighting the overwhelm, it is guiding the baby out of it. Do this for 2 minutes, slow, steady, 60 beats per minute. You can count it in your head or put on music at that tempo. 60 beats per minute is the pace of most lullabies for a reason. Step 4, nunmat, the eye gaze, the moment most parents skip completely. As the baby begins to calm, and they will begin to calm, Korean mothers introduce what is perhaps the most powerful and least discussed step of the entire routine. Eye contact, not staring, not intense, just soft, warm, steady eye contact at the baby's level. Looking directly at them with a completely calm and open expression. No urgency, no desperation, no relief. Just presence. This is called nunmat, which means eye meeting. Newborn babies can focus at approximately 20 to 30 centimeters, almost exactly the distance between a baby's face and a mother's face during a natural hold. And research from Harvard Medical School found that synchronized eye gaze between mother and infant creates what they call neural coupling, a phenomenon where the mother's and baby's brain waves literally begin to synchronize with each other. When your baby looks into your calm eyes, they are not just seeing your face. Their brain is reading your brain. Your calm becomes their calm at a neurological level. This is co-regulation made visible. And it is the reason Korean mothers maintain soft eye contact throughout the calming process, rather than looking away in relief the moment the crying slows. Hold the eye gaze for at least 30 seconds. Keep your expression soft, open, and completely unhurried. Step 5. Yumsori, the voice return. The step that makes the calm last. The final step of the Korean baby routine is the one that makes the difference between a baby who calms and then immediately starts crying again and a baby who stays calm. Once the baby is settled, eyes soft, breathing slower, body relaxed, Korean mothers return to the voice. But not to shushing. Instead, they begin a very specific pattern of low, slow, rhythmic talking or singing. Not a lullaby necessarily. Simply speaking to the baby in a calm, low voice about nothing in particular. What they see around them, what they plan to do today, how loved the baby is. This is Sori, the return of sound. The reason this works is because the voice was the first signal in the routine. It told the baby nervous system that safety was coming. Now, by returning to the same calm voice at the end of the routine, the baby's brain learns to associate that vocal tone with the complete arc of safety. Over time, and Korean mothers say this happens within the first 2 to 3 weeks of consistent practice, the baby begins to calm simply at the sound of the mother's settling voice before any other steps are even needed. You are not just soothing your baby, you are training their nervous system to recognize safety. And that training compounds every single day. Now let us look at these 5 steps together as a complete system, because the sequence is not random. Jong-on, the settling voice, speaks to the baby's hearing first. The most developed sense, Norigom, the heartbeat hold, speaks to the baby's body memory. The most primal sense, Cheon, the slow rhythm, speaks to the baby's nervous system directly. Down-regulating hyperarousal, Nunmat, the eye gaze, speaks to the baby's social brain. Creating neural synchrony, Sori, the voice return, closes the loop, creating a complete neurological safety pattern. Each step builds on the previous one. Together, they address every layer of a baby's experience: sound, body, nervous system, social brain, and memory. It is not one technique. It is a complete sequence that speaks to your baby as a whole neurological being, rather than a checklist of physical needs to satisfy. No single step works as powerfully alone, but together, in sequence, Korean mothers report that within 2 to 4 minutes, their babies are consistently calm. Not every single time, not magically, but consistently, reliably, in a way that deepens and strengthens with every repetition. Here is what this routine looks like 3 weeks after you begin using it consistently. It is 2 a.m. Your baby begins to fuss. You do not panic. You take one slow breath. You lower your shoulders. You walk to the crib, and before you even pick your baby up, you speak in that low, slow, settling voice. I am here. I can hear you. You are safe. And something extraordinary happens. The crying softens. Not stops, but softens. Because your baby's nervous system has begun to recognize the signal. They have heard that voice in that tone at the beginning of every calming sequence for 3 weeks. Their brain has learned this sound means safety is coming. You pick them up, chest to chest, left ear to your heartbeat. You sway at 60 beats per minute, you hold eye contact, you speak softly, and within 2 minutes they are calm, breathing slowly, eyes heavy, and you, instead of standing in the dark, completely overwhelmed and desperate, you are standing there feeling like exactly what you are. A mother who knows what her baby needs, a mother who has learned the language her baby actually speaks. Korean mothers call this Ioma Uison, which means the mother's hand. The idea that a mother's presence, voice, and touch carry a specific healing frequency that no machine, no gadget, and no parenting book can replicate. And the routine is simply the vessel that delivers that frequency to your baby in the most effective sequence possible. Before you try this tonight, there are 3 common mistakes I want you to avoid. The first mistake is rushing the steps. Each step needs its full time. Jong-on needs 10 seconds minimum. Norigam needs 60 seconds minimum. If you rush, you are skipping the neurological building blocks that make the next step work. The second mistake is doing this while you are panicked. Remember, your baby's nervous system reads yours. If you are tense and desperate, the routine will not work as well. Take your own breath first, every time, without exception. The third mistake is giving up after 1 or 2 tries. Korean mothers emphasize that this routine is a training process for your baby's nervous system. It takes 2 to 3 weeks of consistency to build the full neurological pattern. The first few times, it may take 5 minutes. By week 3, it may take 2. Trust the process. Your baby is not giving you a hard time. Your baby is having a hard time, and they need your nervous system to show their nervous system what calm feels like. Jong-on, Norigom, Cheon, Nunmat, Sori. 5 steps, 1 routine. Built by Korean mothers over generations. Validated by neuroscience. And available to you starting tonight. If this gave you something real, share it with a mother who needs to hear it right now. And if you want to learn more about how Korean culture raises the world's most emotionally secure children, subscribe to Korean Mom Way, because there is so much more coming every single week. You have got this, mama.